Boehm looked at me with such kindness and with even more expectation. I was feeling a host of emotions that I couldn't pinpoint which was the most important. I stared numbly at them, trying to understand why they felt so confident in their decision. Welcome back, my friends. I am sincerely grateful that you've come back to hear more of Fiona's story. I have much to share with you, and I hope you are enjoying the stories as much as I am enjoying bringing them to you. However, there hasn't been any more subscribers or likes. If you are enjoying the series, please be kind and subscribe and like because it helps the algorithm recommend it to more people. Thank you in advance. Now let's get back to the story. I read in the library that Lena had been enhanced. What does that mean? What was done to her? I figured this was my best opportunity to get my questions answered. It would be unfair not to tell you, Elder Sim began, for as long as our people have been in existence, the Shining Ones, as they were called back then, have been our protectors. Our scientists were given a task when the Shining Ones began producing offspring without abilities. They were to isolate their genes to preserve Leak. Lena and a few others were the product of that experiment. She alone exhibited all the abilities. You have all of them also, she said, as if that answered my question. I get that I'm special. What else can I do, and who were the others? All of us who can wield are descendants of the original Shining Ones. However, we have found that once we'd begun reclaiming our people, their abilities were diminished. You started exhibiting abilities almost as soon as you arrived. You and your brother are direct descendants of Lena, which means that all is not lost. Elder Sim further explained. You will find that as time goes on, more of your abilities will emerge. In every situation that you've found yourself in, you've successfully resolved it. Your intuition is more than that. It is your oracle ability manifesting. You throw light farther than any we've seen, and you suffer no side effects either. Captain Lau said, finally joining the conversation. What side effects? I've seen you both throw light, and I didn't witness any side effects, I pointed out. After that sparring exercise we had with you, we couldn't wield for the better part of a week. You had no such difficulty. Fiona, you can hear thoughts, see ahead into the future, and I, for one, cannot wait to see you move matter, teleport, and fly, Elder Chaktar said. Elder Bitka actually clapped in glee hearing this. It was at this point that I couldn't sit any longer. I stood up because I was scared, nervous, and angry. I felt that all they wanted to do was use me, and I felt I had no say. Because I was feeling so many emotions at once, something truly weird began happening. Suddenly, I could hear their thoughts and feel their emotions. I looked at Boehm, and I could feel the compassion he felt for me. Elder Edwards was eager to have open trade with other planets and wanted to use my influence to gain access into the Alliance. Sim wanted a sample of my blood to study, and Chaktar just wanted to protect the people. Commander Podge wanted more warriors who could wield. Lau wanted to be able to crew with me. It was too much coming at once. Oh no, stop! It's too much at once. I looked at Elder Ula, and there was worry on his mind. With the population growing, food was getting scarce. The ability to import food and seeds to grow more food was a top priority on his mind. Boehm stood up and made his way around the table to stand beside me. I felt a deep sense of calm come over me. He truly felt sorry for me, and he wished that he could help. I leaned over and gave him a hug. I felt better for it. I pulled away slowly and looked around me at them. I truly appreciate the concerns you all have. In Lena's time, there were others who shared the responsibility of protecting the people. I cannot do it alone. I get that you all feel that I should be able to step up, but honestly, I don't think I can do all you're expecting me to do. Elder Chaktar, you have abilities and experience. Captain Lau, so do you. Frankly, you all have something that is useful to protect our world. I will do my part if you do yours. What do you need from us? Asked Commander Podge. I sat back down again. I would like to hear what the people want, and then I'll take that to the Alliance. Before I travel to meet with them, I would very much like to visit my brother. Earlier, you said that his essence signature wasn't registering. I have been thinking about it, and I have an idea where my family might be. Will you give me permission to go? I watched them closely as they conferred with each other. I saw nods and smiles. Captain Brightblade, when you go to represent us to the Alliance, we would like you to go without any worries on your mind. We believe that once you ensure his safety, you can go to the Alliance freely. Elder Chaktar said. 2 days later, I sat in a newly outfitted cruiser, jumping dimensions to Earth. I requested only Lippy and Pua to go with me. I told them mostly everything. I trusted them, but they didn't have to know all my secrets. California was balmy and overly bright. I probably will have to find a way to expel my energies before the day was out. We landed in the wooded area behind the house. We didn't spot any ships in orbit this time either. I wasn't quite sure how long I'd been gone this time, but I estimated it to be somewhere between 9 months to a year. We entered the house through the back entrance and into the kitchen. My mother was at the sink and she was humming. I smiled at her and floated past her to the living room. My sister was sitting next to a young man giggling. We floated past her up the stairs. I could hear voices in one of the bedrooms. I poked my head into the room and caught my father pacing and talking on the phone. "Roland, the order was supposed to be shipped yesterday. See that there are no more delays." My father clicked off and shook his head. I quickly moved out of the way as he made for the door. We followed him back downstairs. My sister pulled away quickly from the young man she was kissing. My dad pretended not to notice and sat in the single chair facing them. "Laura, has your brother come back yet?" he asked her. "I think I heard him come in through the back," she answered. "Why don't you go see if your mother needs any help in the kitchen, honey?" Dad suggested. "If you'll excuse me," Laura said, standing up. I signaled Lippy and Pua to stay with my dad while I followed Laura to the kitchen. The minute my brother spotted me, he told our mother that he was going up to his room. We followed him up, and I watched him go to the wall opposite his bed and pressed open a panel in it. He pressed a button and turned to face us. "Fiona, you're back," he exclaimed. "I didn't think you'd ever come back. So much has happened since we got here. Do you realize that it's been over a year since then?" "Dad loves it here, and so does Laura," he reported excitedly. "What about you? Don't you like it here?" I asked. I noticed that he was quick to let me know that the others were happy. "That man downstairs acts weird around me. He's always watching me, but Mom, Dad, and Laura love him. His father works with Dad, and they came for dinner one time, and he acted like he'd fallen in love with Laura. I didn't want to say anything, but that man downstairs was talking with your father." His voice sort of echoed when he spoke. "I think the whole family is being controlled," Lippy said. "So you've been found out." "Junior, have you noticed anyone else acting weird?" I asked him. I wanted to make sure that the whole company wasn't infiltrated. "I don't think so. Chris and Patrick are new to the company. They started shortly after we got here," Junior said. "What was that you did on the wall?" I asked, examining it. Junior smiled widely. "When we arrived, the caretaker insisted that this be my room. He helped me move my stuff in. He showed me how to use it and told me not to tell anyone. He said that if I ever wanted privacy, to use it and no one can snoop on me." "Where can I find this caretaker?" I asked carefully. "Mr. Edwards lives on the other side of the property. He has a cottage there," Junior replied. I looked at my brother and couldn't believe how much he'd grown and how mature he sounded. "Great. Don't tell the rest of the family that I'm back, okay? I want to do some investigating first," I told him. "Your uniform is different, Fiona. Did you get a promotion?" he asked me. He reached out to touch my badges. His fingers went right through them. "Yeah, I'm a captain now," and I told him. "Cool. I have to go downstairs now. I have some chores to do before I can go meet my friends." We watched him disengage the privacy feature in the wall, and then we followed him back downstairs. Laura was back on the couch snuggling with Patrick, and my parents were sitting across from them. "Mom, Dad, I'm going to put the trash out and then go on to Douglas's. I'll be home by 10, Junior told everybody. "I thought you were going to stay and have dinner with us," my mother said a little disappointedly. "Dad said that it was okay to have dinner with Douglas and his family tonight." Junior explained carefully. "He never once looked my way, clever boy." "Fine, but be careful and call us when you get there and when you leave," Mom insisted. "I will, Mom," Junior replied and rushed out. Lippy and Pua stayed with the family while I followed Junior out of the house. I watched as he carried the trash and covered the cans. I followed him over to the caretaker's house. The cottage looked like a dollhouse. There was the faint sound of music coming from it, and I recognized it from the few times I had to listen to music on ANTHORA too. The caretakers were Anthoran. A 50-ish looking woman answered the door to us. She smiled when she saw Junior, and then she looked directly at me. "Hello, Junior. Why don't you and your sister come in?" she asked with a smile. She led us into the small living room. Her husband was sitting at a desk, and he too smiled when he saw me. I was hoping I'd get to meet you one day, Fiona. I'm so glad that you are Anthorn. Can you fill me in on how you ended up here? I asked. That's simple, dear. We've been here ever since Lena left us in charge of the property some time ago, Mrs. Edwards said. She spun a tale of intrigue and adventure. Lena and her husband were ready to move on because her husband was getting on in years while she was still young-looking. He was well known as the CEO of the company. They planned to move to another state when he died suddenly of heart failure. Then the visitors came. Lena was able to warn everyone. She gave them all shields and the option of staying or moving to another location. The visitors stayed in town for weeks before they attacked her. She fought bravely before she succumbed. We know about our essences going back to the homeworld, but they did something to her. We've always been caretakers of the property, and she encouraged us to stay to watch over her descendants. She and her husband had perfected the shields that hides our true identities, but hadn't had the chance to use it on herself. All the others wear them also. We were the first to use it. She instructed us to keep the technology until someone like you came along. Do you trust me enough to give it to me? I asked. Dear, you are the spitting image of our dear Lena. Of course you can have it, Mr. Edwards said, getting up to go get it. Mrs. Edwards offered Junior some cookies and I watched as he devoured them. Mrs. Edwards, how long have you and your husband been here on the planet, if you don't mind me asking? We've been here almost 200 years. We stay to ourselves to avoid detection, and the shields hides us well. We hope to see our home world too one day. I believe one of the elders is a relative of yours, but I can't be sure, I told them. Mr. Edwards came back with a small box. That would be our daughter. She fought the visitors alongside Lena. She was killed. He held the box out to me reverently. Inside the box was a pair of hearing aids. The couple showed me their ears. Each was wearing one. These are the final product that they've perfected. I was hoping to give them to your father, but Chris and Patrick showed up. They're bad news, Mr. Edwards said. This is Douglas's grandparents' house. I come here to learn about Anthora since you can't be here to teach me, Junior said. So where is Douglas? I asked. He'll be here shortly, Mrs. Edwards said. Wait, I'm confused. Junior comes here to learn about Anthora and my parents are okay with it? I asked. Duh, Fiona. They don't know that's why I come here. Douglas is cool and his grandparents teach both of us. He's Anthoran like me too, Junior replied. I understood it now. The shields cloak the Edwards so that Chris and Patrick can't detect them. My parents allow the friendship just for friendship's sake. When Douglas arrived, I was further shocked that he was able to see me too. His eyes grew like saucers. You're Fiona, aren't you? Junior told me all about you, but I didn't believe him, he confessed. Perhaps now you'll take your lessons more seriously, his grandfather scolded gently. Douglas went to sit beside Junior. They looked at each other and started speaking in the Anthoran language. Their accents were terrible, but was music to my ears. Wow, how were you able to teach them? I asked, impressed. Azel is our native tongue, so it was not new to us. Children are easier to teach than adults, Mrs. Edwards explained. Grandpa, show her what happens when you take the shield off, Douglas said. His grandfather obliged him, and I was further surprised. Mr. Edwards stood before me, shimmering brightly. He put the device quickly back in his ear, and the aura disappeared. What was that? I asked. It is how we appear to other Anthorans here on Earth. When Douglas saw it, we know he was Anthoran. It is also how I knew to make sure your brother gets that special room. I took it out of my ear to test him, Mr. Edwards said. And I asked him why he was glowing, Junior added. I'm relieved that he has you to watch over him. I'm going to see what I can do about Chris and Patrick. I told them as I made to leave. Fiona, you must be careful around those two. I've seen them do something to your sister. They have the power to control minds. They've got your family eating out of their hands, Mr. Edwards warned. Don't worry, Mr. Edwards. I didn't come alone. My friends and I know how to take care of them. I just want to make sure that the company isn't compromised. Otherwise, my family will have to move again, I told him. I can clear that up for you, dear. We not only keep an eye on the house and the land surrounding it, we also keep tabs on the status of the company. Nothing happens there that we don't know about. Patrick and Chris are the only new people there. Everyone else, and I mean everybody, are direct descendants of the original 80 people that landed here. My family worked there until about 15 years ago when our daughter was killed. I believe that's the Edwards you've met. I thought they all moved away, I said. A lot stayed, and most of the original 80 stayed too. They serve on the board of directors, wearing the shield Lena invented. Wow, that was a lot to digest. Imagine finding out that there were more Anthorans still living on Earth. Comment what you are feeling right now. Do you feel better that Junior has protection? Or do you believe Chris and Patrick will harm him? Either way, comment what you think. Now let's get back to the story. He opened the door for me and I glided out. Lippy and Pua were standing outside when I reached the house. I hope it's okay for us to be out here. That Chris fellow is really working them over. He's using something to enhance their control over your family. We were starting to feel it too, so we came outside, Lippy reported. I brushed past them to see for myself what was being done to my family. I found them in the dining room eating dinner. Dad was sitting at the head of the long table. My mom was sitting on his left, and Laura was on his right. Chris was sitting beside her. I want you to tell me immediately when Fiona comes back. Make sure Junior tells you when he sees her, he said. His voice echoed in the room, and I saw why. The headset on his head must be some sort of enhancement for the mind control. My mother nodded, as did the others. I wanted to be sick. Chris had learned all about the company and the people working there. Just then the doorbell rang. I expected either Mom or Dad to go answer it, but Chris got up instead. He came back with another man who was also sporting a headset. Patrick, I don't need your help. Look around, look at them. Do they look like they've given me any trouble? Laura told me everything. She said that Fiona came back and she killed John and Buck. These bright blades are so much trouble. I hate this planet and I miss my family. However, I had a very successful day at the office. I got a full tour of the place. That boy is the only Anthoran here, so after we do away with him, we can leave, Patrick insisted. I went back outside, satisfied that my family wouldn't have to leave. Lippy and Pua were staring at a squirrel when I joined them. I took the time to explain what animal they were looking at, and then told them that we needed to make sure there weren't any ships in orbit. Pua headed toward the back of the house where we landed our cruiser. The land behind the house was big enough to land 3 more cruisers without any problem. She came back minutes later to report that there was 1 ship in orbit. It had occurred to me that it was weird that we can detect Frogan's ships while they couldn't detect ours. Commander Podge explained it to me. He said that all our ships were made of a special metal that enhanced our cloaking mode, that even the most advanced radar couldn't penetrate. Now, I wondered if that wasn't something similar to what Lena and her husband invented. Okay, that's it for now. Come back to see how Fiona deals with Chris and Patrick. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and hit that notification bell so you won't miss when a new video uploads. Goodbye for now.